guys.
How are you?
We are so excited today to talk to you about everything destination wedding packages.
Yes, that is step one when you're digging into these resorts. What packages do they offer? What's the best fit for you? So that's what we're going to dive into today.
So if you are an overwhelmed bride or groom working on planning your destination wedding, you're going to want to stay tuned for this video today, where we are going to dive into the packages and really help you get an understanding of how they look when you're looking at different resorts.
And that's where we come in. We try to have discussions on what you're looking for, how do you envision your special day, what is it specifics, what are the specifics that you're looking for on that wedding day, what kind of experience do you want your guests to have. Each resort offers a variety of packages, and pricing and what's included can vary by the resort.
Absolutely. Each resort, has their own packages. So usually they do have a complimentary package. Now, this is going to include all of the basics of what you need to get married. Things like a venue, minister, chairs, maybe a bottle of wine, some basic audio, could be a semi-private dinner. This is usually going to be complimentary as long as you stay for a certain amount of nights, and it's usually dependent on a certain number of rooms. Usually around 10 to 15 rooms will earn you the complimentary wedding package.
Yep. The next tier, not always, but the next tier is considered the standard, and this is a more inclusive package. You're going to have that wedding coordinator working with you. The price of these can vary anywhere from $7,500. We've seen them, up to $25K. They average around $10K. They include things like decor, florals, private dinner, cake, centerpieces, things like that. It also can vary depending on some of the things that you need to factor, such as photographer, videographer, things like that you want to add in.
Or cost of a DJ. So usually in this middle tier package, it doesn't have some of those bigger cost pieces. So that is something you do want to take into consideration if you are going with that mid-range package. Now, a lot of resorts also will offer some sort of like a deluxe package, and this will be a very inclusive package, and it usually will cost somewhere between $15,000 and $30,000. But this package will include things like a private cocktail hour, a private dinner. It might include your hair and makeup, a few hours of a DJ. But some of the things that you want to keep in mind is this: a lot of people think like, oh, well, I should probably just go with that package and get everything included. But that's not always the best case scenario. So say you have a bride and a groom who want to have a band and the package includes a DJ. Well, then that's not the best package for you. Then you'd really want to go with more of that mid-range package and a la carte those different pieces. Because otherwise you're paying for things that you're not going to use, and who wants to do that?
Yep. Let's go over some of the frequently asked questions. Can I substitute items? Again, most resorts will not allow that, so it's best to go to packages that best fits you, and then a la carte any additional items that you're looking to add on. Again, like Sarah mentioned, DJ, videographers, something like that.
And going back to that same example, some resorts will allow you to pay an upgrade fee and go from a DJ to a band, but that's not always the case. So this is where it's really important to understand the packages and what the terms and conditions are within each. So if the resort doesn't offer that option, then like we said, you'd want to go with a smaller package and then just a la carte those bigger pieces.
Yeah.
So another question we get a lot is, can I substitute flowers? A lot of packages come with a certain type of flowers. It's probably seasonal, what they have in stock, and most resorts will allow you to upgrade these flowers, but it will usually be at an additional cost. So again, something you want to keep in mind.
Yep. Can I bring my own photographer, videographer? Yes, many resorts will allow this, but keep in mind there might be an outside vendor fee that applies to that. They many times will have vendors that they work with and that they will offer you and give you their information, so you can work that out with them. Also something you can work with your wedding coordinator to figure that out.
Usually with an outside vendor, they are sometimes going to also have a minimum night requirement that they need to be staying at the resort. So that's also something you want to be aware of up front if you are going to be bringing in your own vendors. Let's talk about just some overall tips on picking out wedding packages and just some things that you should be aware of. Complimentary wedding packages do have certain venues that are at no additional cost. But if you're looking for one of those more unique settings, maybe you want a sky terrace, it is not uncommon to have an upgrade fee for those more elevated experiences. So a sky terrace, you know, can come usually around $1,500 to be able to use that venue. So again, this is where it's just really important to understand your total vision and what you have in mind, and make sure that we are finding the best property and packages that meet those needs.
Yep. If a resort requires you to pick out a package, see if you can make any changes and what the deadlines for those changes are. Generally, you can, once the contract is signed, generally you can upgrade to your package, but it's not, you almost can never downgrade your package. So when can you make changes, if at all, once that contract is signed?
Absolutely. Another thing that you'll see when you're looking at wedding packages, a lot of them will say, you know, this dollar amount for 25 to 50 guests or up to this many guests. That generally refers to the people that are booked within your wedding group. So if you have guests that have booked on their own outside of the group, or maybe they're staying at another resort because you're at an adults only property and they are bringing children, they will oftentimes be required to pay a fee to attend the wedding because they're not a guest or they're not booked within that group. So if that is the case with the resort that you pick out, you want to make sure that you're aware of that and that your guests are aware of that. So that is where we really encourage our brides and grooms to really let their guests know how booking with the group works, any additional costs that they could incur, and also this helps the bride and groom earn extra concessions towards their wedding day. So it's very important that we're really educating everyone in the group, because otherwise they just might not realize that if they go book a deal on Expedia, they might not realize that that hurts the bride and groom and the concessions that they're earning. Another thing with being in the room block is those prices are fixed. You know, we know exactly what the prices are. That's why we do a group contract, so that way there are no surprises when it comes to pricing. And this really just guarantees a smooth and seamless experience for everybody.
Yeah, as a resort becomes more and more popular, it seems like the prices is only going up. So the further ahead you can plan and lock in that price. Plus, a lot of these resorts do have a percentage minimum of guests that need to stay at that resort.
Absolutely.
Remember that every resort is different. Choose the best resort that's for you. We actually did a video on this recently. If you haven't seen it, go back and check that out.
We talked about 10 things that you really want to look for when you're picking your destination wedding resort venue. Some things that are really important. That is really step one of this process. It's the matching to the right destination, matching to the right resort that delivers and offers the vision you are looking for your special day. Now, once we've narrowed that down, the next step is to go ahead and lock in that wedding date. You know, a lot of the properties that we work with only have 1, 2, 3 weddings per day. So we want to make sure that you get your selected preferences, you have the venue of your dreams. And so the best way to ensure that is to plan early, so we can secure that wedding date and make sure that if you want your wedding at sunset, make sure that we are the first ones getting that request in, so that way you have that.
How early should you plan? At least a year, 18 months. It's not uncommon when we've checked on certain wedding days, 12, 14 months out, and some of those dates are already taken up. Again, it just depends. If you really want to get married on a specific day, the sooner you can plan, the better chance it's going to be available.
And the more options you're going to have.
Yeah.
The last step is really to find the package that works best for you, and that's why we wanted to do this video today. We wanted to educate you a little bit about the different packages that are available, examples of what's included. I know we've mentioned, they can vary significantly by resort. This is one of the reasons we do encourage you to work with a certified specialist like Alden and myself, somebody that can walk you through all of these steps, give you guidance, get information for you, help clarify, and just make sure that everything goes off seamless and stress-free, because let's face it, wedding planning can be very overwhelming and very stressful, and having somebody in your corner to help you navigate and to advocate on your behalf is a huge advantage and a big stress reliever.
Especially in a different country.
Yes. So if you guys have questions, feel free to post them below. We'd love to hear from you, and we hope you all have a great rest of the week.
Safe travels.